Ruth and Naomi, a tale of loyalty, love, and redemption. In the time of Judges, when Israel often found itself in moral and spiritual turmoil, there lived a woman named Naomi. She, along with her husband Elimelech and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, resided in Bethlehem, a town that had once been prosperous but was now facing a severe famine. This famine, which had gripped the land, left fields barren and left the town's residents desperate for sustenance. Naomi's family was not exempt from this struggle. As the famine's grip tightened, Naomi and Elimelech faced a difficult decision. They could stay in Bethlehem and endure the suffering alongside their people, or they could seek refuge in a foreign land, hoping to find sustenance there. Faced with this dilemma, they chose the latter, leaving behind their homeland, their friends, and their extended family. The journey to Moab was arduous, with the family traveling through barren desert landscapes. The scorching sun beat down on them as they pressed forward, hoping that their arrival in the foreign land would bring relief from their hardships. When Naomi's family reached Moab, it was a land with a culture and way of life vastly different from what they had known in Bethlehem. The Moabites, initially wary of these newcomers, gradually accepted them into their midst. Naomi's family had to learn to adapt to their new surroundings, from the language they spoke to the customs they followed. Despite these challenges, they managed to make a modest home in Moab. Over time, Naomi and Elimelech's sons, Mahlon and Chilion, married Moabite women named Orpah and Ruth, further integrating their family into the Moabite community. However, tragedy struck Naomi's family once again as her husband, Elimelech, passed away. She was left a widow, her heart heavy with grief. Despite her sorrow, Naomi remained strong for her two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, who had now become the pillars of her life. Years passed, and Naomi's sorrow was compounded by the deaths of her sons. She was now left alone in a foreign land with her daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. The women's shared grief drew them closer, forming a bond that transcended cultural differences. News reached Naomi that the famine in Bethlehem had ended, and with a heavy heart, she decided to return to her homeland. She believed that her prospects there, even as a widow, might be better than in a foreign land. Before embarking on her journey back to Bethlehem, Naomi urged her daughters-in-law to stay in Moab and find new husbands among their own people. She knew the challenges that lay ahead and did not want to burden them with the uncertainty of an unknown future in Bethlehem. Orpah tearfully embraced Naomi, kissed her, and decided to stay in Moab, her decision marked by both sadness and practicality. However, Ruth's loyalty and love for her mother-in-law knew no bounds. She clung to Naomi, determined to accompany her on the journey back to Bethlehem. Ruth's declaration of loyalty to Naomi is one of the most moving passages in the Bible. "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God." These words, spoken with heartfelt sincerity, sealed Ruth's commitment to her mother-in-law and set the stage for their journey together. Moved by Ruth's devotion, Naomi accepted her daughter-in-law's decision, and the two women embarked on the challenging journey back to Bethlehem. They traveled through dusty roads, their footsteps echoing the determination in their hearts. Upon their arrival in Bethlehem, the townspeople were stirred by the sight of Naomi, a familiar face who had returned after years of absence. They remembered her, and while they were glad to see her, they were also taken aback by her changed circumstances. Naomi, once accompanied by her husband and sons, had returned as a widow with a foreign daughter-in-law. The timing of their return was significant. It coincided with the barley harvest, a time of hope and abundance in Bethlehem. It was during this season that the story of Ruth and Naomi would take a remarkable turn. Ruth, driven by her determination to provide for Naomi, ventured out to glean in the fields. It was in the fields of Boaz, a wealthy landowner and relative of Naomi's family, that she began to collect leftover grain after the harvesters. Boaz, a man known for his kindness and generosity, noticed Ruth's diligence and inquired about her. Upon learning of Ruth's loyalty to Naomi and her dedication to providing for her, Boaz showed her favor. He instructed his workers to intentionally leave extra grain for her to glean, ensuring that she would have an ample harvest. Naomi, recognizing Boaz's kindness and understanding that he was a potential kinsman redeemer, saw an opportunity to secure Ruth's future. In Israelite culture, the kinsman redeemer was a close relative responsible for redeeming family property and ensuring the welfare of widows in the family. Naomi wisely counseled Ruth to approach Boaz during the threshing floor festivities, a time of celebration after the harvest. Ruth followed Naomi's guidance, approaching Boaz at the threshing floor and requesting his protection and support as the kinsman redeemer. Boaz, touched by Ruth's request and her loyalty to Naomi, agreed to redeem the land and marry Ruth. Their union was blessed, and Ruth gave birth to a son named Obed, who would become the grandfather of King David, one of Israel's greatest leaders. Through Ruth's unwavering loyalty to Naomi and her faith in the God of Israel, the story of this remarkable Moabite woman became woven into the lineage of Israel's kings. Her love, loyalty, and faithfulness serve as a testament to the enduring power of family bonds and the providence of God in the lives of those who trust Him. Ruth's story is a profound reminder that even in the midst of trials and tribulations, God's plan for redemption can shine through the most unlikely circumstances.